B'siyata Dishmaya B'zat Hashem, a little bit on the Parashat Behar. A lot of different things going on in this parasha. We have the Shemitah, the importance of the 7th year in Israel, where the land has to rest. And we have Geulat Karkaot, we have the redemption of fields, that the land can't be sold forever in the land of Israel. Only temporary leases, 99-year leases that would end at a certain point. And the whole entire parasha is dealing with Eretz Yisrael. This is usually called Shabbat Haaretz, the Shabbat of the land of Eretz Yisrael, because it's talking about the importance of the land of Israel. And having also included in this is having slaves and a whole bunch of different ideas that have to do with the redemptive process of the nation of Israel and the whole entire world. But in our way that we do these parasha classes, we're going to be learning from Likutei Halachot, from the teachings of Rabbi Natan of Breslev, and he's teaching on the verse, V'chi timkeru mimkar le'amitecha. If you sell a certain piece of something, do business with your friend. And he teaches like this. We're going to have a short teaching on this. כל העסקים והמלאכות והמשא ומתן שכלולים בל"ט מלאכות, כולם בשביל לברר ניצוצות הקדושים. All of the business dealings that you have in life, all of the things that you do, whether it comes to making something, doing business with someone, all of the 39 actions that are needed to create the temple, the Mishkan, the tabernacle, right? All of those 39 things that were used, those actions that were used to create the Mishkan and that were forbidden for us to do on Shabbat, all of them are included inside this action of business and creation in the world, doing a melacha. And that process happens because anytime we do a melacha, anytime we create something in the world, anytime we are doing business with another person, we're engaged in these 39 melachot, these 39 actions of creation, we are really clarifying holy sparks, as it's taught in the Ta'amei mitzvot, and the reasons, the tastes and the reasons of the mitzvot. What's the main way to clarify sparks? By way of remembering Hashem in the time of when you're coming to do business. You shall remember Hashem your God, because He's the one that gives you the ability and the power to do anything in this world. Therefore, it's fitting that a Jew should do business and business dealings with a Jew specifically. Like it's written, Kim tikeru mimkar le'amitecha. When you go to sell something, to do business, you should do it la'amitecha. Do it to your friend, to your brother. Mechor or kano miyad amitecha. Sell or buy from the hand of your friend. Tikne, Chazal. Like Rashi says, the whole entire idea here that the Chazal is coming to tell us by way of the Torah is pay attention to the exact words of the Torah. The Torah says, if you sell to your friend, if you buy from your friend, meaning you should sell to your friend and you should buy from your friend. You should be engaged with business dealings with your friends, with the people of Am Yisrael. You should try as much as you can whenever you're trying to do business and you're going on your way and you're doing business dealings for your business or for your house, that you should connect to kosher people and fitting people, and be used to, you should make it a habit that anytime you see your friends, anytime you go to do business with your friends, or you have to do some kind of, engage with some kind of building act with your friends, setting up a business, doing whatever it might be in the world, you have to make sure that you talk with them about Torah. When you connect with holy people, when you connect with kosher people, you speak to them about the words of Torah, about Yirat Shamayim, in a way that you mention to your friend and you remind your friend and you about the Tachlit Acharon, about the final purpose. At any given moment that when you're dealing with another Jew, you should at least one time through your meeting bring up the fact that there is an Olam Haba, there is a purpose for this world, there is a God, there's a Creator that is expecting you to connect to Him and to do the best that you can to bring yourself to perfection and to a higher place so that you can cling to Hashem more and more and more. Like it's written in the Zohar Kadosh, Zat Hashem, we're here, Erev Lag BaOmer and Tzvat Yer HaKodesh. The lights of Rabbi Shimon are already coming down in many different ways. So too here, in this Torah, unplanned, we come across a Zohar Chadash. שאסור ללך בדרך כי אם כשיש עמו אחד שיעסוק עמו בדברי תורה. The Zohar Kadosh teaches us that a person should not travel on the path unless he has another person with him to talk Torah about. That when you're going on the path and you're traveling, you should have a friend with you to keep you company, not just to keep you company, but to be able to talk with you about Torah, to talk to you about the Creator. Even if you don't find the kind of friends that would probably have the right conversations with you, when you're doing business, even if it's the case that you don't have a friend with you maybe, right? Or you're forced to do business with a goy. At least then, while you're doing the business, don't let your mind forget Hashem. Don't let your mind lose focus on HaKadosh Baruch Hu while you're doing that business. You should always be yearning, constantly yearning with a strong will to bring yourself and all of your friends that are dealing with you, that have engagement with you, to bring them towards Hashem and His Torah. This is Hashem's whole entire intention. That Hashem made it that the world, you have to do business, you have to do trading, you have to be involved with other people, you have to be part of society. And whenever you're doing that, it's all in order to clarify different holy sparks that need to be elevated to their source. And the main way to do that in business and when you're dealing with friends and different people in the world is by way that that every single Jew will have an amplification of the truth that they have inherently inside of them. And by way of dealing with my friend and talking about the purpose while I'm doing such a mundane thing like business, I will be remembering the tachlit, the purpose of this world, to connect to my Creator in every way possible. And then there will be an amplification of that reality inside my heart. And one person will bring his friend until everybody returns back to Hashem and back to His Torah. One little last part, because it's Shabbat Haaretz and we're talking about Eretz Yisrael so much this week. It says here another idea of these clarifications of these holy sparks that need to be elevated. Another pasuk Rabbi Natan talks about is Va'aretz lo timacher litzmitut, that if a person owns a piece of land in the land of Israel, that he's not allowed to permanently sell it. Hashem says in the Torah, the land shall not be sold for eternity, forever. Because for me, the whole entire land. The land belongs to Hashem. Specifically because it's for Hashem. Aretz, the land of Israel specifically, is the idea of emunah. And therefore, you can't sell that forever. You can only sell it until the Yovel, until the 50th year, till the Jubilee year, in order so that there should be, that the person that buys it in the new period of the Yovel, in the new 50-year cycle, he should also be able to clarify and rectify new sparks, brand new sparks that are coming. All of the clarifications that we have to do, finding the holy sparks, meaning finding the right thing to do in a situation where there's a doubt, do I do this or do I do that, and you do the right thing, you just elevated a spark of Hashem out of that situation. All of that is done by way of emunah, which is the aspect of karka, of land. Any time a piece of land moves from one domain to another, meaning from my ownership to another Jew's ownership, then that's an aspect of what's called geula, of redemption. Because by way of that, by way of the transfer of ownership from my hand to another Jew's hand, then now there will be new sparks that need to be clarified in this new cycle. And by way of that, tushlam emunah v'tavo geula, there will be a completion of emunah, which is considered like the ground, and there will come a geula, there will come a redemption. The few times in the Torah usually uses this language of geula, of redemption, when it's talking about the selling and the acquisition, the buying of land in the land of Israel. Like it's written in Parashat Vayikra, geula tielo, he shall have a geula, he shall have redemption. A few other times in the Torah too, and many times Rabbi Natan says the Torah uses this language of selling and purchasing a karka of land as the word geula. Any time a piece of land, which is this aspect of emunah, goes from one domain to another, It's all in order for there to be new clarifications and new rectifications of these holy sparks. And then whenever you clarify more and more sparks, we're coming closer and closer to the Geula. And this is the hint that Hashem gave to Yirmiyahu, to Jeremiah the prophet. The idea of the Geula comes by way of Kniyat Karka, by way of purchasing of land. When it was that in the time of Yirmiyahu and the destruction of the temple, and the Jews had to go into Babylon, Hashem says to Yirmiyahu like this. It's in the 32nd chapter. Hine Hanamel ben dodecha ba elecha le'amor k'nei tzadi. Hananel, your cousin, will come to you and say, buy my field. V'kaneh et hasadeh, and he bought the field. Uvisaro Hashem itbarach al yedei zeh she'atidin yigel v'yiknu sadot. Yirmiyahu was told, look, your cousin Hanamel is going to come and tell you to buy land. Buy the land. And by way of you buying the land, Hashem now brought him tidings, good tidings and good news. And he tells him, by way of you buying this land, in the future, right? Atidin lihigael v'yiknu sadot. In the future, Am Yisrael will be redeemed and they will buy fields. Sadot b'kesef yiknu. It says there in Yirmiyahu, they will buy lands, they will buy fields with money. This is a big wonder. What's going on here? How is it that Hashem, why is it that Hashem hinted to him the final redemption by way of a purchasing of a field? Buying a field is a hint of the Geula, the full redemption. The buying of a field itself is a hint to the Geula, like we said, because the sparks are being rectified, and now when I buy the field, I'm having a new rectification of the field, a new sparks that I have to be dealing with. And I just want to mention something that's very, very important that's happening right now. Rachmana litzlan, God forbid, it's happening right now in our land, and it's very, very sad. It's known that right now the north has over 100,000 people that have been evacuated from their towns. Pretty much everything north of Tzfat towards Lebanon has been evacuated. And Rachmana litzlan, God forbid that this should continue to happen, but in Kiryat Shmona, people that left Kiryat Shmona and they're not interested in getting hit by rockets, and they were told by the government that they have to leave, and the government has not done anything to help them, not done anything in any way to be able to, not only to ensure their safety, to bring them back to their houses, to the businesses can continue and their lives can continue. Not only that they're going deeper and deeper in debts, but now the worst thing possible has happened. That people have decided, since they don't want to live in Rosh Pin and in Kiryat Shmona and these similar places, they started to look to sell their houses, and a few people sold their houses to Jewish lawyers, and the Jewish lawyer turned around and sold it to an Arab. Now right now we have Jewish cities that have been evacuated by force by the military and by the government, and the people there are not able to exist anymore because they don't have money, so they turn to selling their property. And when they sold their property, they thought they were selling it to a Jew in good faith, and the Jew would obviously sell it to another Jew, like we're learning in this week's Parashat. And instead of that, it was sold to a Goy, to an Arab, and now an Arab and a bunch of Arabs are taking over Jewish property in the Jewish city of Kiryat Shmona. This is a tragedy, this is an ason, this is a mamash, a crisis that we can't let it develop and we can't continue to grow. The opposite, we need to be buying land back from the Arabs, we need to be buying it back into the hands of Eretz Yisrael, so that the sadeh, that the fields can be back in the land of Emunah, can be back in the hands of the people of Emunah, and we can't let this happen. And it's crazy that we see right here a hint to this. Yirmiyahu is told by Hashem, Ine Hanamel ben dodecha ba elecha le'emor kaneh et tzadi. Your neighbor, your cousin comes to you and tells you, buy my field. And here we have our cousins, these donkey jihadis, buying our fields from us. We can't let this happen. We have to be praying to HaKadosh Baruch Hu that the land of Israel stays in the hands of Am Yisrael, because it's really Hashem's land. Li haaretz daika, it's Hashem's land, it's not ours. We have to just be the guardians and the landscapers watching over this beautiful, beautiful garden of Eden that's down here in this lower realm, the land of Israel. And we all be zocheh and mamash to have a connection to the land of Israel, and to be slaves of Hashem Yitbarach, and to be in the right consciousness, and to bring Geula closer and closer by way of all of our actions, whether it's business with our friends, dealing with our friends, doing anything, engaging with Jews. Like Rav Mordechai Eliyahu said, if you have a non-Jew that can do the job and you have a Jew that can do the job, and the Jew costs more, like it should be, because he's worth more and he's smarter and he deserves the money. Any of the difference between the non-Jew doing the work for you and the Jew doing the work for you, you can consider that as your chomesh. It's known that we have to give 10% of our salary and of our profits and of our earnings to charity, and the maximum that we could give is what's called a chomesh, which is 20%, right? 1/5. That Rav Mordechai Eliyahu Zatzal said that if you want to get the Jew, but he's more expensive, all of the difference in the money will go towards your 20% of giving, which will only bring you more money and more blessing. Amen. Ken Yiratzon.